this week's programme, we take a look back at the final of the Guinness Open 670 from Dundalk, plus the second round of the Guinness Trophy from Cork. We pay a visit to trainer Mary Buggy, who hails from Bagnallstown in County Carlow, and catch up on the progress at the Enniscorthy track. But first, we have racing from Clonmel. Hands were on deck in Clonmel last week for their annual festival meeting. Our cameras were there on the Tuesday night for the finals of the Irish Examiner 750 and the Irish Greyhound Board Unraised 525.
We're set for the Irish Examiner 750. 1 Hell Road Prince, 2 Nobody Wants Me, Brown Eyes Blue 3, 4 Group Champ Billabong Oz 5 and 6 Lottie's Moped. Number 3, Brown Eyes Blue, is our favourite for this long journey. Brakes only okay. Billabong Oz is out very smartly, so too Nobody Wants Me as they swing the opening couple of bends. It's a long journey, 750 yards. Billabong Oz has the lead off the first bend and up towards the finishing line with a full circuit to go. Lottie's Moped in contention, so too now Brown Eyes Blue in that white jacket in third at this stage, and Billabong Oz runs into some trouble there, and that leaves Brown Eyes Blue clear by a good distance from Hell Road Prince as he hits the second bend from home. It's Brown Eyes Blue ahead by 6 to 8 lengths off the final bend. This is a very good performance. Brown Eyes Blue coming home alone, followed home by Group Champ. It's close for third. And a quick check on the result. It's a win for Brown Eyes Blue in 42.69. Group Champ is second and Nobody Wants Me took third.
You know, it's nice to win it twice. It didn't look that likely she might win going into the escape the first time, but then there was trouble up front and she made use of it and got clear. And you know, when she gets running like that, she's decent. She's quite good. She's a good standard and a good staying standard to have in a kennel at any time, and you can, you know, go from these kind of one open race to the next. And if you get a bit of luck like we got tonight, well, then you're away in the canter, you know.
The dogs are on show now for the final of the Irish Greyhound Board Unraised 525. First we see in the red jacket, it's Kilduff Supreme, jointly owned by Michael Bergen Jr. and Pat O'Connor of Freshford, a son of Mustang Jack and Jumbo's Mott. Very quick away in the semi-final. In the blue jacket, it's Sign On Barney, owned by young Maria Carew of Cashel, a son of Slaney Sidewell and Leaders Echo. Unbeaten to date in the stake, clocked 29.27 last weekend. In the white jacket, it's Have Another One for Grania and Jacinta Drohan of Clonmel. The trainer this time is Shane Murphy, a son of Droopy's Kuel and Turbert and Ty. Now for Pat Dalton in Golden, it's Listed Building. A good winner last weekend when breaking the 29-second barrier, 28.98. The trainer Niall Dunn, a son of Concord Direct and Glass Orchard. In the orange jacket, it's Lightning Boots, picked up the last of the qualifying places in the semi-finals. Jointly owned by John Flanagan and Oliver McGrath of County Wexford, a son of Top Honcho and Lightning Lizzie. And finally, a dog that would have preferred the rails in the stripes, it's Rossa Pegasus for Vera Maguire of Skibbereen, a son of Droopy's Vieri and Rossa Best. Has it all to do to feature here. €6,500 here to the winning connections. The traps rise and boxing away. Well, it's Kilduff Supreme, but on the outside, Have Another One is there too. And Sign On Barney in contention. And as they go through towards the second bend, there could be a surprise on the cards here because it's number 3, Have Another One, that's well clear down the back straight from Lightning Boots. Clear by 6 lengths, improving Sign On Barney behind. But it looks as if Have Another One has the winning look about him off the final bend. And it's Have Another One that's going to come home impressively. And the confirmation, a big win here for trainer Shane Murphy, courtesy of Have Another One in 29.09. Second, Sign On Barney and Lightning Boots, third.
I bought this dog off of Graham Holland. We wanted a syndicate. Graham was training a few dogs for us, and Graham sold us this pup, and I reared it in Coolcasan, Dundrum, County Tipperary. My husband Liam and I, we rear greyhounds. And Jacinta and Grania were looking for a pup, and they came in on the pup, and we called it Have Another One.
Jacinta, tell us about the name.
Well, we were here this night last year, and we couldn't think of a name, and we were sitting down in the bar, and we came up with the name Have Another One.
And a big prize. He was something like 10 to 1 surely with the bookies, was he? You had a few bob on it?
Well backed. We had him well backed.
We dropped in at Enniscorthy track during the week to see how work was progressing on the new circuit. Being the only track in the country with a dual surface of grass and sand, it was decided to bring it into uniformity with other tracks. Gavin Smith brought us up to date on the work in hand.
We started 3 weeks ago. We removed the hair rail, we removed the inside rail and we removed the starting traps. We then set up the new levels around the track and realigned the track. What we did on the third and fourth bend, we actually increased the radius around the third and fourth bend by 1.5 metres. And then on the first and second bend, we increased it by 1 metre. What we also tried to do was round the third and fourth bend, there was a dip on the back straight as you led into the third bend. What we've tried to do is try to make that so it's more gradual and it isn't so much of a dip in the track. And also coming out near the 550 box, there was a bit of a dip in the track. So we've levelled that off. And now there's a bit of a climb up the front straight, which it always had, but it's not as evident as what it was before. The stage we're at now is all the existing ground's been excavated out. The stone's been placed in the track and the hair rail is now being repositioned in the track. The trap bases are already poured, so now it's just a matter of getting the hair rail in. Then we can start grading off the stone around the track, getting all the levels correct, and then start relaying the sand on the track. We start by laying a rabbit sand on top of a membrane on top of the stone, and then the silica sand goes on top of that, which is the finished job. We're also putting sprinklers in. We're putting sprinklers inside and outside of the track every 6 metres. Hopefully that'll give a good coverage around the track, especially here because it's very windy, you know, it's very exposed. Yeah, at the moment we're on target. The weather's been good for us, so hopefully everything going well, we should be finished by mid-March.
When patrons come back, they're going to see a revamped, totally revamped track, not just surface, but we're putting in new lights now and replacing the poles. The reason we have to do that is because the current poles are rusted out. We did a small job on them some years back, but that has come to the end of its day. So we're doing the whole thing now at the same time. We'll have some new distances as well. We'll have a 750, which we think is going to be one of the best 750s in the country. We have a good long run to the bend with it. We'll have 2 finish lines to facilitate the keeping of our 600-yard distance, which we think is our prime distance. We'll have 5 to 5, 550. The other major change is that we'll now be running our 5 to 5 distance out of our 550 box, which will make for a cleaner race at the bend, hopefully. They'll have 25 yards further, obviously, to sort themselves out. While we're looking forward to the new track, I suppose it's a bittersweet occasion, losing the grass, but obviously for welfare and safety, the going sand is the way to go. We had a dual one surface before, and it's very, very hard to maintain it in peak condition. So this will be a better job all around. As March 17th this year falls on a Thursday, and Thursday is our prime race night, we're aiming for St. Patrick's night to reopen. Now obviously if there is a little hitch anywhere along the line and that doesn't happen, the safety of the track will get priority in all of this. So if it takes a day or two later, so be it, but we are aiming, and all hands on deck will be aiming for March 17th to reopen.
The final of the Guinness Open 670 took place at Dundalk Stadium last Friday night. All 6 dogs went to traps vying for the winner's pot of €15,000.
Greyhounds parading now for the Guinness Open 670 final. In trap 1 we have Coolavani Kate from Miss Emer Curley and Mr. Shane Taggart. This one's trained by Fraser Black, a winner of 6 from only 11 outings, a daughter of Tom's the Best and Blonde Returns, the current second favourite with the bookies. In trap 2, wearing the blue jacket, it's Ballerin Lass for Mr. Don McGahan and Derry, and trained by Gerard White, a winner of 3 from 16, recorded the fastest 37.07 clock in this event. In 3, and wearing the white jacket, we have Kid Ori for Mrs. Nell Colgan in County Down, and trained by Damien McGinn in Northern Ireland, a winner of 11 from 31, recorded the fastest 37.08 in the quarter-finals of this event, the son of Top Honcho out of Dream on Joe. In trap 4 we have Guess Who's Coming, formerly called Graysland's Misty, this one owned by Mr. Keith Doherty and Mr. Richard Simpson in Dublin, and trained by Paul Hennessy, a winner of 6 from 24, won its semi-final of this event in tremendous style. And in 5 we have the classy Prince Monalulu from Mr. Dermot Sweeney in Dublin, and trained by Anthony Byrne, a winner of 7 from 14, so a 50% strike rate for this son of Jamaican hero out of Droopy's Princess, and the current hot favourite for this event. In Trap 6 we have Wine Tavern Vieri from Miss Mairead Daly in County Donegal and trained by TJ Maxwell, a winner of 7 from 18. This one recorded the fastest time of all these greyhounds throughout this event when it clocked 36.91 in the semi-final as Son of Droopies Vieri and Miles Storm. And they're all in traps for the Guinness Open 670 final. The favourite in Trap 5, Prince Monolulu for Anthony Byrne. The hare coming up behind traps. And they're off, and 3, Kid Ori away to a flyer here. Prince Monolulu in 5 showing good pace up on the outside, and he strikes the front into the first bend. Prince Monolulu for Anthony Byrne opening up and going clear by about 3 lengths. Kid Ori in 3 back in second. Wine Tavern Vieri showing great strides up on the outside, but he's 6 lengths off the speed. Prince Monolulu really opening up in front here. He leads by about 6 lengths. Wine Tavern Vieri in 6 doing good work in second, but he's still got 6 lengths to make up. The 4 dog back in third. That's Guess Who's Coming, a fast finisher, but 6 lengths to make up on his classy Prince Monolulu, who does it in style. 5, Prince Monolulu your winner. 4, Guess Who's Coming back in second, and 6, Wine Tavern Vieri back in third. So the result of the Guinness Open 670 final. First, Trap 5, Prince Monolulu from Mr. Dermot Sweeney in Dublin and trained by Anthony Byrne. Second, Trap 4, Guess Who's Coming. And third, Trap 6, Wine Tavern Vieri. And the time, 36.47. That's a new track record for the distance at Dundalk.
Well, Tony, Prince Monolulu, another track record here tonight.
He's a great dog. He's a dog that done an injury, a serious injury, and it was 50-50 but he'd never come back. A lot of thanks must go to Brian Jones, Don Cuddy, Don is in the Hall of Fame in America, and Don has been a great help to me. And I'd like to thank my brother Dermot and Paul, and Dermot Sweeney, obviously the owner, and Michael, who works with me, and Georgina, my daughter.
Well, Tony, I mean, he was unbeaten throughout this stake. He ran some race.
He loved the track. It's a great track here in Dundalk, and he took to it. He's a very fresh dog. As I say, like, he got injured. He was a length off the track record in his 4th race in Newbridge, and he got injured and he was off for 7 months. So we persevered and we brought him to the river every day, and I think he's justified all the expectations we had of him. He's come through tonight.
Well, when are we going to see him on the track again?
I think he will probably run in the Ladbroke 600 in Shelbourne. He loves Shelbourne Park. Might lack a little bit of early pace, but I think he'll be thereabouts.
This has been a great victory for us, and I'd like to put it down solely to Tony Byrne. We had our problems with the dog. He was off for 7 months, and Tony never lost his belief in him, and he brought him back. And the first trial we did with him after being off 7 months in Shelbourne was 28.55, so we were quite satisfied then. But it's all down to Tony and nobody else. This is a bit special to me as well, because my late wife is from Dundalk, and all her family and that are here tonight. So it's great.
Very special here for you tonight. And Tony was telling us you're going to head for the Ladbrokes after this.
Well, whatever Tony says, it's good enough for me.
Very proud, very delighted. Dundalk Stadium, it's our first event here now since it opened new. I'm just delighted to be involved in it.
What got you on board?
Emma, Jim, that's basically it. Put a proposal together, and we really just couldn't say no.
Well, tell us, did you have a few bob on the winner?
I had a £5 on him. I have to tell the truth, I did.
Well, I'm sure the celebrations went on long into the night at Dundalk. Now we take a look at some of the upcoming fixtures. Mullingar hosts the semi-finals of the Sean Bannon Plant Power 525 on Thursday night, and then on Friday, back in Dundalk, it's the semi-finals of the Greyhound and Pet World Open Sprint 410. The love of the greyhound is sometimes referred to as a bug, which one picks up at an early age and can never shake off. Well, trainer Mary Buggy from Bagnallstown in County Carlow was bitten by this bug as a young girl and has passed it on to her family.
I've been into greyhounds for about 30 years now, so it's a good many years to be in them. And I had my first greyhound at around 14, my own greyhound, and her name was Greek Myth. I got her for one to rear one, and I gave back the other one to the man that I reared her for, John Reardon, and I don't know how she turned out, but Greek Myth was very lucky for me, and she won a lot of races for me, and I bred off her then, and that's how we got into the breeding business. It's down through the years. Well, we got into a good lot of dogs then, and you had to have a trainer's licence then. I had a private one first, and then I went public because we had a good lot of dogs in training.
I knew very little about greyhounds until I met Mary, and she gave me my first greyhound, roughly, I'd say 1969, 70 it was. And I won my first race with a bitch called Kilgraney Girl at Harold's Cross, and it was all the talk around locally, and 5 to 1 I think she was, and we had a great night coming home after my first win, and the party went on for a few days. I raced that bitch for 2 or 3 races, I'd say, and we decided to put her into the sales along with her little brother, a dog called Greek Orr, who won a 580 in Harold's Cross. So we put the bitch in the sales anyway and won her sales trial, and I sold her to a very good friend of mine down through the years, Malcolm Byde. So Malcolm took the bitch over to Bellevue, and she represented Bellevue in Intertrack on numerous occasions, but unfortunately all good things come to an end. She broke her hock. So he rang us one day and he said we'd be interested in taking the bitch back to breed from her. So we bred from the bitch anyway, and we came from 5 or 6 dogs maybe to 40, 50 dogs. And she was a great servant, bred a lot of winners. It's going back, I'd say, 12, 14 years ago since we met Mr. Woodward and his wife Barbara. He bought a dog and a bitch by Manx Treasure out of a real good stay in Bitch Gourmet Manor, and he asked us to take the 2 bitches and train them for him, which we did. And sure, one of them turned out to be the great lovely Sian, who was known the length and breadth of Ireland. And we bred her then, we bred her first litter to Tom's the Best. And they were like her mother, sprinters. I don't know how it is, but we end up with an awful lot of sprinters. I suppose one of our good brood bitches here is Desi's Pride, whom we trained for Gordon Woodward, but came in season, and she bred a good litter to Late Show, and she also bred her first litters to Split the Bill, which produced Desi's Joy. And Desi's Joy is owned down in Clare by Bill Slattery and Desi Fitzgerald. And she was another sprint bitch. She could leave a box. She has 16-13 done at Kilkenny, won a lot of races for us and for Bill and Desi. So they decided to breed that bitch as well, and she has 5 pups now. They're 8 weeks old. And we're looking forward to them. More sprinters. From a personal point of view, I have one ambition. It's not a big one, but I'd love to get a bitch good enough to get to the final of the Oaks. I'm not interested in the Derby. I'm not interested in anything else. I'd love a bitch to get to the Oaks, because I think unless you have a good bitch, you cannot breed.
Another aspect of the greyhounds is that everyone can get involved. At the moment, I'm taking a year out from college to concentrate on the greyhounds and help my mum and dad. And I have my own bitch, my own brood bitch, Osage Speed, and she won a couple of races for me, but she wasn't as great as her sister Born a Survivor. But we bought the bitch originally for breeding from Seamus Graham. Myself and Gordon Woodward have a half share in her each, and she's a Stapler's Joe by Cool Survivor, and she's a great breeding line already, so it was just ideal for breeding pups. Her litter to Hansha Classic at the moment, there's 4 dogs and 3 bitches, so I'm really looking forward to getting them into training. Hopefully they'll go on to better things, maybe win an Oaks or a Derby. You never know.
The second round of the Guinness Trophy was the feature attraction at Curraheen Park in Cork last Saturday night, offering a total prize fund of €18,000.
The competition started with the opening heat, where the fastest first round winner, Student Pass, was in trap 3, and the track specialist number 2, Historic Moment, and 6, Mount Leader Gara, his expected threats.
Here comes up towards Straps and away they go, and off to a very poor start is Student Pass, our favourite. Out front is Lissanolis into the opening bend, followed by Sleek Mountain and Jaskita Lad as well. On they go, and it's Lissanolis now. That is a surprise leader down the back straight. Lissanolis 100 to 1 on some boards, being followed by the reserve. That's Jaskita Lad into the second bend from home. Student Pass now improving, shows in third. 3 to qualify, but it's still Lissanolis from the reserve. Jaskita Lad, they hit the final bend into the straight on the run up towards the line. It's going to be desperately close at the line, very close between Lissanolis and Jaskita Lad.
The second heat was dominated by Paul Hennessy, who had the track record holder Fat Budgie in trap 3, and also the early pace Goblet of Fire in 1 and Blonde Thunder out in 6, while the Laurels winner of the past, Nikita Billy, wore the blue jacket.
Our favourite in 1, that's Goblet of Fire. Here arrives at traps and Goblet of Fire has been left behind. It's 3 Fat Budgie after a good start from Long Valley Homer into the bend and on the rails. It's Fat Budgie now that goes clear by a length or so. A couple of challengers in pursuit. One of those is Long Valley Homer. Goblet of Fire is gobbling up ground now as well as they head towards bend number 3, but still it's Fat Budgie holding on up front from Goblet of Fire. 3 to qualify as they hit the last bend. It's Fat Budgie running wide but up towards the line. He's going to score. Goblet of Fire is going to be there for second, challenging with 7 rights.
Trainer Hennessy also represented in the third heat by number 2 Blonde Mac, but here a lot of fancy for number 6 DJ 96 and also number 4 Asian de Vieri.
2 Blonde Mac, our favourite after a reasonably good start, but so too Asian de Vieri. Forge Flower is in the red jacket as they swing the opening couple of bends, and it's Asian de Vieri that's clear by 2 or 3 lengths, and DJ 96 is improving. Forge Flower in the red jacket. 4th to this stage it's Blonde Mac as they hit the bend number 3. It's still 4 Asian de Vieri being challenged now by DJ 96 running wide, still on the rails. It's Asian de Vieri coming strongly. It's Forge Flower up towards the line. It's DJ 96 that scores from Shinawil Bertie.
The final heat of the Guinness featured the favourite Tar Darrell, beaten in the first round but expected to put that well behind him on this occasion, with number 3 Hot Rocks also quite strongly fancied.
Here comes towards Straps and off they go. It's a very level break, and the reserve Pencil Pusher is after a good start. Our favourite Mustang Oki is in these stripes, but on they go, and it's the reserve Pencil Pusher that shows in front by a length or so from Mustang Oki. In third is Trumpers Jack, 3 to qualify, and the stripes is flying it now. That's Mustang Oki takes over at the second bend from home, slowing down. It's Pencil Pusher. Trumpers Jack is well in contention, moves into second off the final bend. It's going to be a win here for our favourite, that's Mustang Oki, followed home by Trumpers Jack, and taking third the reserve Pencil Pusher. And so after a night of high drama when more than a few big fancies were turned over, we're down to the last 12 of the Guinness Trophy 2005 here at Corriheen Park. The semi-finals take place on Saturday night next, with a €7,000 to the winner final a week later. It's now a most wide open stake.
Also on Saturday next, Limerick are hosting a benefit night in aid of the South East Asian Disaster Fund. And at Mullingar, it's the final of the Fat Cats Novice 805. Then on Sunday, it's a bumper night at Galway where singles are going to the dogs. So if you want to have a fun night out, contact Galway Stadium. All proceeds from this event are going to Gold Southeast Asia's emergency appeal. So looking ahead now to next week's programme, we'll be heading to Shelburne Park for the semi-finals of the Joe Dunn Memorial and the second round of the Tote Gold Cup. Then on to Cork for the semi-finals of the Guinness Trophy.
For a complete fixtures list and more information, log on to the Irish Greyhound website at www.igb.ie.